We are back! Another new episode of ZoeTV. And for me, it has been a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while. It's at least been 4 weeks since I got to be in this room filming an episode of ZoeTV, and I missed it. I miss seeing all of our residents. I miss everything about Zoe life on this campus when I'm not here. And residents have been great. Really, really supportive of everything I've had to deal with my mom, and we'll get a little bit into that so I can just kind of explain. But Kay Baker is our new co-host. Kay and I are going to ride this out together in interview and take Zoe life to another level on this channel. So Kay, I'm so excited you're with us.
Well, thank you. I love being here, and you know I love the residents. So.
I know you do. Well, it was an automatic plug to get you involved in this aspect, and you obviously love the camera. You love talking. You love singing.
Love the camera.
It's what you do.
Well, with a voice like I've got.
Well, I know. I hear about it all the time. Mm-hmm. She's like an angel singing to us.
Really? Is that what you've heard? Okay.
I've heard a lot. But it's fun to have you on board. You've been on the show many times.
Yep.
Talking about the foundation, talking about the food bank. So I think to sit in that chair and not over here and help with the answer, you have such great perspective, and you've been on this campus such a long time and do so many unique things. It'll be fun to have. So,
well, thank you.
With that being said, before we get to our first guest,
yes,
tell us how the life of Kay Baker over the last crazy August flew by. What have you been up to?
Well, I mean, I won't break into my summer vacation photos or stories, as fascinating as they are. But in terms of on campus, one of my favorite things, and one of the things I really am most proud of with the foundation, is the food pantry. And I work in it every Wednesday just so I can see all the smiling faces. And it is a pleasure because everybody who walks in that door is super excited to be there, and they see the value in what we've brought. And I have to tell you, as the foundation goes, we have raised more than $75,000 since April. And I think it's because the funders, the corporations, the foundations see the real value in taking care of our own.
Absolutely. And it's tangible. It's right there. They see it being executed right there in real time.
Right there. And I've heard so many comments, but one that really stuck out yesterday was a lady that came in late, and I'm not going to say her name, but she said, you know what, I haven't felt well. Like, she didn't get COVID, but she just hasn't felt well since the beginning of the year. And she said, without this food pantry, I don't know what I do because I've not been to the store. I've had stuff purchased at the marketplace, but the food pantry has really supplemented and taken care of her. And that was the goal.
That's right.
That, along with our staff, we wanted them not to have to go out after work. And so it's not everything everybody needs, but we know it makes a difference.
It does.
And so anything anybody can give is really well used. I can tell you that every dime we bring in, we spend on the food.
That's cool.
And it's a pleasure of ours, but it's also costly. So if you feel like donating to a good cause, you can, and get the tax credit and get the Arizona tax credit. So any money you give to us, that's a shameless plug, but it's true. Any money you give to us really benefits you, benefits all of you, and it benefits your tax return. So if you have any questions, call me.
I think it was one of those things nobody saw coming. No one knew this was going to be needed, and your grant writing, and we're going to plan this for 2020. It just, like everybody hit us with a smack, and everybody had to figure out the best practices of mitigating the virus and keeping our residents safe and as close to home as possible.
Absolutely.
Helped to do that. And so kudos to everybody involved. I mean, it's just been an amazing thing. And it's something that as we move forward and COVID hopefully becomes a distant memory, and there's always these new norms, but that will transition to a very cool concept that we've all talked about of more of a farmer's market and have fresh fruits and vegetables and the idea of, man, this is a very fun atmosphere, carnival-like at the first of the month, and in that food pantry of necessity came a really cool farmer's market initiative. And I think that's how so many corporations and businesses are rethinking their business model pre-COVID, post-COVID, but new things came of it. And we talked
absolutely,
to a lot of our employees over at Providence Place with Gary and Randy, and the way that they're executing with Zoom and the way that they're executing activities. You talked to Ross and Tiffany, and everybody's had to rethink outside the box. And
yes, we have.
our residents are antsy, as we all know, to get back to normal.
Yeah.
But I think we've done an amazing job mitigating their exposure and keeping them safe and trying to keep this Zoe life humming along.
Right, and I will say, nobody shows up without a mask, which I don't know about you, but I feel weird now not wearing my mask.
I agree.
mean, I'm trying to imagine a day that we won't wear them anymore, because it almost feels like odd when you step out of your car and you just forget
I know. It is.
You feel
It's
like
strange.
something's missing,
Yeah.
you know? So people have shown up with their masks. They really are conscientious of staying apart 6 feet. And, you know, some people get upset that they have to wait a little bit longer, but safety is our
Safety's
number
paramount.
one. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
And look at the numbers. I mean, honestly, they have spoken for themselves.
that's right.
Right?
Numbers are way down, and you can't disagree that the masks were a heavy influencer
Right.
on that. So
Right.
anyway, we are excited to bring today's show to you guys. It's been a long time coming for me to get back in this chair. My mom's been ICU at Mayo. She's currently still there. So I appreciate, I've gotten so many emails and phone calls and texts from residents that she's on the prayer chain, and that we got so many amazing prayer warriors on this campus. And her health is paramount in our lives, but I know it is because I get questioned all the time. So thank you guys out there for all of that support. And we're here, and it's going to be a fun show. We're going to bring back our Resident of Inspiration segment next week. We had a little hiccup with that, obviously, when we did some re-airs, but that program is amazing. And I know that, you know, you were aware of it, and we kind of talked to you about some of the cool residents that we got through that. But to watch the way that roller coaster journey throughout this campus of, you know, nominees, and then we went over to Court 4 and Court 3 and AL and Sarah's Place, and it was like this really cool journey. We never knew where it was going to go, and that'll start again next week. But we thought with this first episode, it'd be really fun to bring a new employee in our Zoe Life role to the forefront and let you guys hear from her. So Michelle Jones, who is working down in the Performance Center. She's hands-on with our residents. She's going to be talking about virtual reality, and that's her baby, and I let her kind of run with it and how she's executing the coastal distancing program. And she's also key in our role of executing the university.
Right.
And Michelle's been really instrumental in signing everybody up, creating waiting lists, calling, okay, the waiting list, we opened 5 more spots, letting them know, getting them involved. So Michelle holds a lot of hats.
Oh, and she's organized.
She is organized. She puts me to shame.
So nice to have.
It is very nice to have. But she's been boots on the ground down there for a while with her mom, but in our fold for a couple weeks, and we threw her in the deep end. So I'm excited to let her talk about kind of her journey with Glencroft personally, and now working here, and talk through some of the key things with the university. We start this week. And it's going to be a big week for us. This is a long time coming.
We have been working on this for a long time.
I don't know
6
who
months.
it hurt more, Kay or myself, to have to cancel this spring semester of 2020. But you know what? It's in the past, and the fall's here, and
It is.
the curriculum is off the charts. And Kay's done an amazing job filling these classes. So
Thank you.
Michelle's going to have fun, I know, talking about that in the VR program. So Kay, we're off and running.
I like it. Thanks for
All
having me.
right, back in a sec with Michelle. We are so excited to have Michelle Jones be our one and only guest today. Michelle, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Man, this has been quite a journey
It has.
for us.
It's been,
and
yes.
watching the timeline of you coming on campus with your mom to the point you're sitting and working at Glencroft and being an employee that's helping us in so many areas. So tell us and tell them, what's this journey been like from day one? What have you been doing here on Glencroft?
Amazing is a good word. It's been amazing in a lot of different ways. Short version, got a call from mom was living in Connecticut. Got a call that she was being sent to the hospital, from the hospital rehab, and on released, she wasn't going to be able to live on her own anymore. And so, you panic and what am I going to do? Because I'm completely across the country.
Sure.
Fortunately, the rehab connected me with Oasis Senior Consultants, and they had a rep out here in Chandler. Immediately called him to find out, hey, what do I do? Where am I going to go? Started checking out places. I don't know if we ever talked about it, but I looked at probably a dozen places before we got here.
All over Chandler, Ahwatukee, everywhere.
I was living in Ahwatukee,
Yeah.
so I was looking down there.
Yep.
And so literally from like Mesa up here, I looked at group homes.
Okay.
I looked at self-contained places like the Brookdales and those sort of places, which were nice. But what I did was kind of narrow it down and then took Mom to see like 3 of them. Much to my surprise, she didn't like anything that was self-contained. I liked it because I thought, okay, good. She can only get so lost. I won't have to worry. She's close enough. And her things were, I want to be within 15 or 20 minutes from you. I want to be able to go outside to things. I want and I want somewhere where I can sit outside. And so when she Noxied the other ones, and so when we got here, she said to me, I prayed about it, and I'll know it when I see it. And I'm like, Mom, there's not an endless journey, right?
Yeah.
So there's only so many
triggers some
we
point.
can visiting. Yeah. And so when she got here, as we entered, she said, "There's something about this place." Like, Lord, because of course I had come in and screened it first, and I was like, I can't imagine her not liking it. And so we got here, and she immediately liked it. She loved the grounds. It felt like a sense of community. She could go out and about and around, and there was plenty of activities to do, which is a huge difference, is that most places maybe played bingo on Saturday.
Right.
That was it. There was nothing physical or intellectually stimulating going on, and I wanted like the whole package. It's like, okay, if you're gonna live with me, like this is where we're going. Like we're getting on boot camp, and she wanted to. And so when we came here and Dawn Valenti took me around, and this place is awesome. We came down and saw this, and I was like, yes, this is what she needs. Combination of the Zoe Life food options on the menu.
Yep.
And then when I learned about the university, I'm like, that's just a bonus. I didn't even know that initially. I was like, okay, so she's got food, she's got intellectual stimulation, she's got the fitness that she needs, and someone to guide her through it. And so when you're like, first step is assessment, I'm like, that's great. We need to know where she is and what to do so that, I'm nudging her enough but not pushing her too hard. And we got here, and so meeting with Dawn, of course, I walked around, I said, she's gonna love it, and the only thing I can think that would make her happier is if I could live here with her. And she said, actually, you can. As your caregiver, you can. And so that's how that came about. So we actually moved in the day before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And she was very, very weak at that point. Remember I told you I was so afraid, I didn't even know she was going to make the flight. Yeah. The 6-hour flight right out of the hospital. I was like praying the whole way. And after about a month of being here, I'd get her up and she could do little bits. So we'd get her just sitting on the patio and that sort of thing. And she saw all the stuff and wanted to get involved. And so our first stop was here, and we came in and she met Steve, and something about those two clicked immediately.
Can't imagine what that is.
She's like, I like him. He's really nice. And so, walked her around and showed her the place and told her, come in and have your assessment and we'll get you set up. And I thought, okay, we got her out the first time, let's come again. And she started coming, we were doing 3 days a week, and then we switched when the lecture started. So she would come over, do her workout, go over to Henry's and have something, more often than not, Zoe Life food, and then come back and do the lecture. So it was perfect. And so she has lost now about 80 pounds. Her doctors cut her diabetes medicine by 1/3. We're going back soon, so I'm hoping it's going to continue that. But her mobility is much better. She's much happier. Start making friends, and the regular folks that you see in here and round and about. So she's happy, so I'm happy. Yeah. But
I know, it's such a great story.
It's just, I'm like, this place is a blessing, because I can't imagine being able to live with her and have gotten her that far in less than a year.
Right.
Anywhere else. Like, there's just...
I think you would be hard pressed to find another campus that has put so much resource and focus behind wellness, mind, body, spirit wellness, where somebody that wants to go all in, like your mom, can get that team approach around her, where I know if I go down to that performance center, I got people waiting for me.
Right.
And I know there's a menu set with really healthy, good food that I'm gonna like that I can execute. And I think it's the dominoes, instead of having one little piece of the puzzle and maybe get better in one little area and everything else is lacking. Our approach has always been everything is built on each other. And you get this collaboration of every department with the mind of your mom's a perfect poster child of somebody that was really vulnerable and in a tough spot.
Yes.
And okay, we're starting from scratch, baby steps. But you know, we oftentimes get residents like, I heard people are getting way too sore down there and I don't want to do it and it's too hard. And there's a perfect example of somebody that just, it took an assessment and figure out where their needs were and then slowly built them up.
And that's what I explain to people when they say that. I said, you know, he's not going to give you the same workout he's given me, so don't worry. My mom and I don't do the same workout. We go down together and we might sit next to each other if she's on a bike or, you know, the new steps she started doing and I'm on a bike, but we're not doing at the same load. We're not doing the pressure. It's a whole different thing. And, you know, you're filling out the paperwork and there's a box to check. Do you want to be pushed within limits? I checked that box. That was before I met Steve.
Yes.
but my abs thank him, you know. So, you know, I have my own mini workout and I've been able to maintain it, which has been huge with suddenly you go from living alone to living with and now 85-year-old mother who's, you know, got her physical and all kinds of challenges and you're trying to manage that. And it's like, how do I keep myself going?
That's right. That's a hard dynamic.
Well, and I agree. This place feels like a home.
It does.
When I was looking for my parents way back, my mom, she had Alzheimer's, but she thought we were on vacation because she didn't live like that where you had a hallway and, you know. So that's what is different here is it feels like a home. You have your own home and you can walk outside. You can be with people or away from them.
She'd go at Henry's and they all knew her name and it was just like, you know.
Well, she's so easy to love on.
She's
got such a smile and she's got that little bit of swagger where we get her going. And
it's funny, we go in there and they're like Ginyard and they don't remember Jones. I'm like, how do you not remember Jones? Are you kidding me? So she's a celeb, but
she's amazing. We love watching her. We try to get her to dance in there.
Oh yeah,
we might be able to throw up. We might be able to throw up during this interview a few still shots and pictures of her dancing because we have got some amazing video of your mom.
I've never seen her dance in my whole life, and he got her going.
I've never seen her dance in my life.
I was like, how do you do the stuff that you do? And she's down there just walking around like, is that my mother?
That's awesome.
Preacher's wife. We got Preacher's wife dancing. How about that?
That's awesome. Cool. That's the way it should be.
So people should know how great you are.
That's right. Well, we should talk about your transition then from resident caregiver coming down and experiencing, helping facilitate. You know, I mean, when COVID hit, I know a lot, obviously, in our university that we'll talk through in a minute, kind of obviously had to pulled back for health and safety guidelines. But, you know, you had to adjust a lot of what you're doing with your mom.
Right.
And as that came along and we got through this and out of this, an opportunity came where we came to you and said, you know, we would love to have you being boots on the ground and knowing this campus and being, you know, all in with us already, help us as we have a position that opened. And so what has that been, that journey of jumping in the deep end with us?
That was a no-brainer, honestly. I mean, like, for me, I feel like I've kind of been living the Zoe life, not knowing it was the Zoe life, you know, in terms of fitness and nutrition. So it fits me, like, who I am. But having seen that transition my mother made from getting to, like, I mean, when I got to the rehab, I nearly cried. I didn't know she was that weak, and then not knowing if she'd make the flight and then see her dance on her 85th birthday, and like, yeah, I'm in. When do I start? Oh, it's all good. Yeah.
And what a treasure you are to us.
Really. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she brings a lot of experience. So just so our residents understand, what were you know, when you went to caretake for your mom, you left your normal life, right? And what kind of job stuff had you been doing in the past?
So I've done marketing analytics most recently.
Okay.
I did some little gig stuff driving for people with disabilities, physical or intellectual disabilities. So kind of get attuned to that. And I went from, you know, totally free, come and go as you want to, you know.
Yeah, you're on the hook. I know.
So I say someday I'm going to write a book. It's called The Day the Music Stopped, you know, like the merry-go-round, the music stops and you get off because it's like, okay, I need a pivot now and what do I do there?
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, seeing how she transitioned after we saw that, I mean, it was just like, absolutely, if I can help someone else's parent or someone else here.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming here, I had to get fully immersed because she couldn't get around.
Sure.
So I had to find,
So you knew
where do we
everything.
access, where, that's how we did Domino's.
Yep.
I went
Yep.
down, check out Domino's, and, you know, at my age, all the seniors are like, come play with us. And I'm like, no, I'm checking this out for my mom. They're like, yeah, but you can play too. And I don't know how. Sit down, we'll teach
That's
you.
cool.
And so, you know, so I play. They all, I guess all the seniors have embraced me. And so you run around and get in and out of things. So it's just wonderful. So to think that these people that I've come to know and love as a resident, that I can help them during a work day, is just, it's awesome.
You've been instrumental.
Perfect.
So tell us, we kind of gave you the opportunity to run and steer the VR in the coastal distancing program. And it was a new one pre-COVID, or we had the VR, but it was implemented just a little bit at Parkinson's before COVID hit. And then with the social distancing in play, we thought it'd be a fun take on it, is to do the coastal distancing and let somebody just escape for half an hour.
Yes.
And so we did a few of them, and we started getting some momentum. And then when you came aboard, I said, this is a great little project for you to kind of run with. And so kind of what's been your perspective on it? What are some questions you've had, and what is some of unique experience?
It's awesome. It's truly awesome. I mean, the response that you get from the residents is amazing. Like Tom Grody I had in there. He got in, and for anyone that's skeptical, not knowing if you're going to get motion sick or anything like that, there's a 1.5-minute tour that we can put you in. Put you in the headset. You're strapped in. There's actually like a seat belt, so you're safe. There's something that locks your legs, so you're not going to fall even if you get weak. And to get people in, see how they feel about it. And so we got talking about where he wanted to go, and he said he'd love to go back to where he grew up. And so I said, do you know the address? Do you remember your street address? And he said, yes. Punch in the street address, and a house pops up, and all of a sudden you hear, oh my gosh, that's the house I grew up in. And he's literally like here, you know, across the room away. He's at the curb at his house, and he's looking at it, and he's like, they kept it up. It's in great shape. They added 3 steps. We didn't have those. And he's really just noticing.
You never see that again.
He hadn't
That's the
been
opportunity.
since like 1970, I think he said. So just to see how thrilled he was to be able to see that.
It's amazing.
And it really is like, you can't
put into words what
that emotion is just
and then
awesome.
you've had the opportunity to take people through the white sandy beaches and relax and get them a smoothie and experience all that comes with that.
Yes. So we've had that. We had Nancy Proctor around.
Yep.
And she wanted to go along the coast in Portland, Oregon, where she used to walk with her husband when before he passed.
Okay.
So we got to get there and go over, and as soon as we got there, that's our beach, you know, and it's like that emotional moment is just priceless.
You just think it's
really
priceless.
just
But
priceless.
that's everything you work on your end, and creating the grants and the opportunities to get equipment like that. But then to hear it play out,
I know.
it's like, it's amazing.
That is what
it is.
they give for, right?
It's amazing. I'm grateful to be able to do that for them. And then, you know, we've had people that, we had a lady yesterday, and she wasn't sure she could stand up for the 30 minutes. So I said, okay, we'll put you in a chair, and then I'll hop in and put the gear on, and we put it up on one of the TV screens in there, and you can see the experience. And so she saw it, and she saw me bopping around, and she said, so I can move my legs. And I said, yeah. And I spun all around. I said, you can go 360. And she said, I think I can do it as long as I don't have to stand still. And I said, well, let me get out. I'll wipe everything down. We'll get you in, and we'll see how you feel. We'll try 1.5 minutes, and if you're okay, then we'll let you go the whole way. And she got in, and she's like, hey, this is great. And so next thing you know, she went to Yellowstone National Park. And, you know, takes a couple minutes to get adjusted to the gears and everything. And she's like, I got it now. And she's cruising through, and she's like,
See, half of it is getting them over the fear of technology.
Yes,
I'm
and
nervous,
how
I can't
simple.
do it.
Right.
And then it's so simplified because it really is an immersive experience. It's not,
It's like
there's some
nothing
games
you
on
can
there,
imagine.
there's some games that are, you really have to dictate the controls, and there's a little bit harder stuff, but there's so many that we can put them in that's just so, you do nothing. You just look around and be in the
look around and
environment.
enjoy. You can walk 360, look over the cliffs.
So we're doing these appointments on what days?
We do them on Wednesdays and Fridays between 1 and 3.
Between 1 and 3 on Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay. So if you're interested in that, you reach out to Michelle down in the Performance Center. You can talk to Gerald, myself. We have an appointment booked for it, and we're scheduling like that. So please, If
Come
you
out
hear
and
people
enjoy.
talking about it and you're not sure, give it a shot. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
So the other thing I want to get before we run out of time is obviously on our big ticket item of this week, and that is our university and our first week of classes this week. We're excited.
Yes, and we are excited, and so are the presenters.
Yeah, they're
They
excited.
really are thrilled to be back. And I think we might have the best semester yet.
You think so?
I think so.
I think they've all
feel
been
it.
good. I think they
They've
all have
been
built on each
good,
other.
but-
I love the C.S. Lewis stuff.
Yes, well,
But he has a whole nother
they're going to
energy.
do, well, this is a new guy,
I
and
know.
he's doing the religions of the world. So I think that will be fascinating. I think there's going to be so many that start. So starting Wednesday, we're going to have 15 people down here. And are there any open spaces or?
There are some open spaces. We did have quite a response to all of the lectures. We initially started with 10, we expanded to 15.
Okay.
So that got most of the people off the waiting list. We do still have a few.
And that was the goal. We wanted to start this in a very smart phase one approach.
Right.
Fill with 10, let's see how that, broke down all the classes. And then once we saw, man, they're all full, and we have this way, then we get to 15, because the room's big. I was being
Room
very
is
careful
big.
at 10.
Yeah, I agree.
And Big John Winslow, he was coming from the top. Let's keep this as safe as possible.
Right.
10, but we all felt comfortable getting to 15, got some of that waiting list off.
Right.
And so we're about
Huge
there on
interest.
most
Yes.
classes.
And everything will be cleaned. You do need to wear masks.
Yep,
Right.
and we'll be doing health
And-
screenings upon entry.
Yep.
So, you come down early, you can congregate in the Performance Center, spread you out a little bit, and then we'll take your temperature. It's just like you're coming in, do another group activity, and then
Right.
you come in and find your seat. So
Yep, that'd be great.
the big new task with this
Right.
and social distancing and doing this is having a dual real-time streaming onto Channel 4,
Right.
showing each and every lecture. And
Right.
we had to make that happen. That if somebody was comfortable and they wanted to be in this environment, they were the first to call in, and I want to be in the center row. But a lot of people aren't there yet, and they're
Right.
not comfortable.
Right.
And we want to be receptive to that.
Absolutely.
And the last thing we want is to have a really good lecture and only 15 people can see them.
Right.
So we're streaming it live.
Yeah.
Every class, or for the most part, most
Right,
classes
most
are going to be streamed live on Channel 4. Our big takeaway and thing we were working on with IT is creating an atmosphere where if you had a question or you wanted to be engaged in it, you had that opportunity. And so what we've created is kind of a phone bank system where you'll call and we'll get that number up for you and basically leave a voicemail with your question. And then it's our job then to facilitate getting that question to the instructor. And as time allows, they're going to get to as many of those as possible.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
it'd be
think,
fun.
again, we're all trying to do this in real time and to the best of our, so there's going to be a few hiccups, bear with us. I think we're doing a great job. I think a lot of big universities are trying to figure out the same problem
Well,
and
they'll
are
probably be
struggling.
calling us.
And I think they do. I think that we are going to be a consulting firm.
I'm sure we are.
Of
Yes.
major universities.
Stanford, I think they'll be on.
For
I
sure.
think they called while we were on it.
Right.
So, but I think if you guys have patience and if you understand that this is a work in progress, all the instructors have been amazing. Some are very comfortable coming here, and so they'll
Right.
be live in person. And others for other reasons, where they work or
Right.
personal decisions, say it's best for our company, myself, that we're going to Skype or Zoom in, and we'll be on the big screen. And our IT has done an amazing job of facilitating
Yes.
our speakers and our audio visual area where the sound is going to be great. The sound is going to be coming through our sound system in the room, not just the
Again,
TV.
a grant-funded
Yes.
project.
Kudos.
So,
Yes, I know. Very good. Social distancing. Sorry. But it's true though. It's fun to see that fruition come from all of the hard work on the back end.
Yes.
And I again, kudos to IT because it's been a big boulder to move. And getting all of the raw stuff, and
Right.
getting everything onto Channel 4 and really using that to our advantage. Because a lot of campuses don't have
have
a
that.
Channel 4
No,
to
we
execute
are blessed.
content. So
We are.
as Channel 4 is evolving and continuing to evolve with new stuff, this is one of the big boulders that are moving. So Michelle, you're a
Wait.
big piece of this puzzle.
Before we move on,
I'm getting this.
We need to talk
you gotta learn
about
the signals.
graduation.
You got to learn the signals.
oh, I thought you were going to
I got the
skip
signal, and it
it.
was so sweet and smooth. But it's your first rodeo.
Yeah,
so
I'm just
maybe they'll give
wondering.
us an extra minute. So Graduation, yes. It's a good topic because this is, last semester was going to be our first graduating class.
And
We're right
people
there.
care. Right.
So we've got all of the dictation set of how many accrued credit hours for each person. So if you're interested, we can tell you where you are on that. Michelle's going to be instrumental is when you take a class, whether it's in person or online and watching it in Channel 4, we are going to have stacks of these available in the Performance Center and in the administration office that basically is a rundown of the lecture that you participated in. So you'll put your name, you're going to put the title of it, you'll put the date, and you'll answer some questions specific to the class and some of your feedback, and then you're going to turn those in. So if you want to wait and turn a stack in at the end of the week, our job is to go back and give you credits for the hours that you took and the work that you did on these sheets.
Yes.
So these are available as of now, and they're in the administration office and Performance Center, and a really good, helpful tool to show what you learned and what you will expect for other classes. So,
and give us feedback.
And give us feedback.
Yes.
Feedback's a gift.
Yes,
it is.
All right. Very good. Michelle, once again, you're amazing. You're a big piece of our team. Zoe Life, thank you guys. Appreciate it. See you next time. What a show! IBK!
Well,
it's
thank
unbelievable. You were
I know.
in your element, is all I can say.
Thank you.
The
I'm
way
glad
you
you
preface
recognize
questions, the way you influence answers from our guests, it's a sight to behold.
Yes,
the way you
thank
navigate
you.
them through topics. I mean, I am so excited to see where you go as a person through this journey.
Well, thank you, because there was no pressure there. I'm telling you.
I agree.
It's simple.
I think you did an amazing job.
Well, thank you, Steve.
I couldn't be happier getting a co-host of your magnitude. You're doing some amazing things on the radio too.
Yes,
right?
we are.
Tell us what you're doing with Mr. Winslow.
All right, I am now the new co-host of Successful Aging.
Yes.
So that's been a fun adventure. You know, I've been in the background getting the guests, writing the scripts.
Yep.
Doing all of
day
that
one, right?
For
You were
day one for 3.5 years now. In fact, who was day one? Let me think.
Who was day one?
Could that have been you?
Circle
yes, it
of
was.
Life. Circle of Life.
With
And
my
now?
friend Willie. And
That's
so, yes.
It's amazing how things just work out. You know, it's one of those things that you didn't see yourself in doing that.
No, I
2 to 3 weeks ago, you didn't see that.
No, I
But
didn't.
You've done an amazing job on
the.
the radio. It's
Well, thank you.
you're just a natural at talking with people, and I know you just
I
love
do
doing
like
it.
people,
You
yeah.
do love. You're a people
My
person.
favorite thing.
And so we're excited. Resident of Inspiration next week.
I like that too.
I can't wait to get back on that journey. But Michelle was fantastic.
She
Michelle
is
walked us
amazing.
through the logistics that are so important when executing this university program. Because what you and I do are behind the scenes of getting stuff organized and how things lay out and how the curriculum is expressed to the residents and maybe accruing hours. But Michelle is integral in this phase of actually getting credit hours assigned, making sure seats are filled, social distancing, 15 people, all of that is on her plate. And she is just taking that on full steam ahead. And you can hear from her own words, it was awesome.
It was, and it's not an easy job doing that part.
No, gosh, no.
Thankfully, we had the help. Yeah.
And I love, obviously, kind of our baby, and I know the guys behind the camera agree, the coastal distancing program and watching our residents, no matter what they age are, experience putting this headset on and just immersing into whatever they pick. And I get a kick out of every time I see a resident visit their hometown they grew up in, or saw that first house that they kind of bought with their, you know, and everybody has a first house they purchased. And to go revisit that 50, 60, 70 years later, and I never thought I'd get back to Indiana. Well, let's go right now. What now? And they throw it on and they take it off, and tears are kind of coming down. And to hear Michelle explain it, because she's the one helping execute that, it's just amazing.
It is.
That's the beauty of technology.
I tell you what, it takes you places you couldn't go any other way, huh?
I know, I agree. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to be back next week with some amazing guests, as always. And to Kay, my co-host, thank you again.
Well, thank you.
All right, I appreciate you. We thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.